So we'll have Nima and Larry Johnson, former CIA intel analyst, speaking about Marco Rubio and the Americans trying to put pressure on other nations and countries to not attend, to not pay respects to Ayatollah Khamenei, peace be upon him, wanting the countries to stay away. And we'll get Larry's thoughts on that. I think they're quite interesting.
The Marco Rubio and his people try to put a lot of pressure on countries around the world.
Yep.
In order to force them not to go to the funeral of the supreme leader of Iran. From the reports so far, we've learned that more than 100 countries participated. And when it comes, Larry, to, funeral is not, I don't know what is the importance of that for the United States to avoid that. It seems that in the eyes of the administration, it's a political sort of support for Iranians. But the supreme leader is a religious leader. He's not, the president. He's a religious leader of Iran. And going to the funeral is not that much against the United States and the Trump administration. I don't know. What is your perception of that? Maybe.
Oh, no. Look, this is all about discrediting Iran if you can. If 100 countries go to commemorate and memorialize the Ayatollah Khamenei, this is a de facto recognition that Iran is not a pariah state. The United States wants Iran to be treated as a pariah. So my understanding is at least 13 countries that were supposed to attend have bailed out. A couple of, several from South America, Africa, a few from Africa. Reportedly, South Africa didn't attend. I'm not sure about that. Because of Iran's status as a BRICS nation, because of Iran's status as fighting against this apartheid policy of Israel, I'd really be shocked if the South Africans yielded to American pressure on that. If they did, shame on them. This is just a despicable act, in my view. Look, this funeral is historic. There has been nothing like it in history. That's what people don't understand. I looked up yesterday, doing some research on what largest funerals, state funerals, etc. Iran currently holds the record for the largest state funeral. That was the burial of the Ayatollah Khomeini back in 1989. That brought out 10 million Iranians. The view now is that the funeral services, the events, I'll call them, that are taking place over the course of the next week until July 9th, are going to involve more than 30 million Iranians. So to be triple what was the previous record. But I also, I tried to look up and see, we've had high profile funerals for leaders that have died or been killed. The funeral of John F. Kennedy was an example. And I think that brought over representatives from over 70, 80 nations. It looks like now, from this standpoint, what's taking place in Iran is the largest in history of the world. We have never seen something this big, this massive, with as many different countries represented. And he said, but the West is trying not to cover it and pretend it's not happening.
Yeah. It seems that they see in the eyes of the Trump administration it's more geopolitical. If they go there, it means that they're supporting Iran against the United States, which doesn't necessarily mean that, in my opinion, because these are relationship between governments and countries. It doesn't mean that you are picking sides. Even with Saudi Arabia, I would assume one of the countries. I was surprised Saudi Arabia that they participated in the funeral, and because I didn't think that they're gonna go there because of what has happened, the war and the outcome of the war and the attacks. And
Yeah, look, the only three that didn't attend out of the Gulf were Kuwait, Bahrain, and UAE.
Yeah.
Qatar, Oman, and Saudi Arabia attended. And actually, I would have been surprised if the Saudis had not attended because they do have diplomatic relations with Iran.
it shows that there is something going on diplomatically between the two countries. And I assume that the United States put pressure on them not to go. But finally deciding to go, it means something. This is the country that means something for Iran, in my opinion. And
Yeah, I mean, MBS is not a trustworthy figure at all. Good Lord, but the fact that he still appears amenable to working with the Pakistanis. I think Pakistan's influence in this is significant. The role it's playing behind the scenes, and you had Prime Minister Sharif show up. So you've had actually some significant.
We had all of them. We had Field Marshal. We had Sharif.
I'm not sure. I don't think General Asman Munir showed up.
Yeah, he went together.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All of
right.
them, member of the parliaments. It was huge, the Pakistani delegation.
Okay, so yeah, what I'm wondering is going on in Tehran is, do they have enough hotel rooms for everybody that's showing up?
Yeah.
This is or the guy, the owners of the various hotels, they're having a good week.
Yeah.
But I guess Pashinyan came down from Armenia. I don't know about Aliyev. I don't know if Aliyev came in from Azerbaijan.
No, the head of parliament from Azerbaijan and the vice president of Turkey. Erdogan didn't go. He said that later on, I'm going to go to Iran. I don't know what does that mean, but it seems that he's bargaining right now with the United States. They have NATO summit and he's trying to buy more engines from the United States, and he needs to be closer to the Trump administration. But overall, in my opinion, what matters the most is the relationship between Iran and Saudi Arabia and Qatar, which is so important for the whole region, because they were trying to. You remember the rapprochement between Iran and Saudi Arabia by Chinese. I think this is a new level. This is a new level of partnership or relationship, not partnership, between the two countries. Somehow understanding coming out of the war, and the role of the Pakistani government is so important. And they're not just today. The Pakistani Prime Minister was in Turkey. He said that Pakistan and Turkey are two bodies with one heart, and the government in Pakistan is somehow so crucial for the security of the region, Larry.
Mm-hmm. Pakistan's they're the point country for China and Russia in the creation of this new, I could call it security architecture for the Persian Gulf. One of the things there's a lot of concern about is Israel taking an action like trying to assassinate the new Ayatollah or to launch an attack on one of the funeral gatherings to try to kill as many senior Iranian officials as possible. And, there have been reports that there was an actual plot underway, but you'd expect Pakistan to play a key role in warning the Israelis, you better back the hell off and not do anything like that.
And that's where it ends there. And you see Pakistan are crucial to all this. They are the ones obviously trying to host the negotiations, Islamabad. And then I've made a little video about it, but I'll just reiterate. The Quranic verse recited for the Pakistani delegation, the Prime Minister, the leader of ISI. O you who have believed, be steadfast, persevere, and stay on God, and be mindful of Allah that you may succeed. Like, this is proper, deep stuff. Like, there is a new security architecture infrastructure coming around because Saudi and Qatar went cap in hand because they know the petrodollar's going to fail. It's going to fail. China, Russia, Iran, all the rest of the GCC, they need to start working with their Muslim brothers and sisters. Forget the West. Yes, sell to the West, have good relations with all, but remember where you're from and remember what you are. And I'll leave it at that anyway.